I've had some requests for disassembly and reassembly of the Charles Daly 301 tactical pump shotgun. The principle is the same for the non-tactical version. They come apart and go together the same way. So first you start with the nut on the end of the magazine tube. I hit the release and slide the action open, and then it takes some doing because this is pretty tight. But you got to do some wiggling and it comes loose. Slide the action forward as it comes out, and the forearm, the action rod, and the bolt all come out. The part that everybody has questions about is right here. I recommend something soft. I'm not going to go look for a brass punch because this doesn't take a lot of force, and if I scratch it, it's my gun. The pins just push out. Pretty easy. And then they pull out from the other side. The trigger assembly, keep your hand over the other side. This side is where the spring is. The slide release spring. You see it right there. You don't want to lose that because you'll look for it for hours. It will eject itself and just be gone. So this is the spring everybody wants to know about, because it will come out, you'll be fighting it, it'll hang up in here, and then this spring will come off and just eject itself into oblivion. You'll spend the next 3 hours looking for it with a magnet, and then when you find it, or you don't, and you order a new one, you come back to this thing and you go, man, how does that go in there? I don't know how that fits. Mostly because when it ejected itself, you weren't watching. I'm not going to blame you. That's not your fault. The last thing you think about is that when you take your shotgun apart to clean it, that it's just going to eject springs. So this spring goes in here. So I push the button up. There's still a bend there, but the straighter part of the spring goes in here. There's a little groove. There's actually a groove in here. This piece is actually two pieces of metal stamped together. So there's a ridge on the top side of the one on the back side. That will go in there. Put the loop over the peg. With your other hand, slide the spring up into the trigger frame. It's easier than it looks. No, it's not. It's not easier than it looks. Anyway, so that is how that goes. That's the slide release. Then you want to make sure that it doesn't eject itself into oblivion again when you put this thing together. So, at that point, the action bar goes into the fore end, the bolt, and you can wait to put this on until after, but make sure that you line that up with the slots in the receiver. Push this the slide release button. Slide it back. Then the barrel slides right in. Maybe not right in. I'm making this look really hard, and it's not. It's not this hard. In order to make that easier, you can take the heat shield off the top, so you're not trying to put it in with the barrel at the same time. You can actually get then it will feel like the nut is tight, but you're up against the end of the heat shield. So if you take the heat shield off, it's one screw with it's one flathead screw that holds that on, and then you can put that on after you get the barrel in. I didn't do that because I didn't. Anyway, so that's the basic teardown and assembly. Thanks for watching.
Hit like and subscribe.